Hello everyone, I welcome you all for the course Engineering Metrology. So this is the fifth lecture on the topic line standards, end standards, and linear and angular measurements. So these are the today's lecture contents. So we will recall the last class fourth lecture, and then we will discuss why the sign bar is not preferred for using the angles larger than 45 degree, and then we will discuss the angle gauges, and we will solve some problems on angle gauges and sign bar, and then we will discuss the use of spirit level, and then we will discuss about the clinometers, and then we will conclude the today's class. So in the lecture 4, so we discussed some of the angular measuring devices. So they are one is vernier bevel protractor, vernier bevel protractor. The second one is optical bevel protractor. Optical bevel protractor. And then we discussed the optical dividing head. Optical dividing head. And then we discussed the sign bar or measurement of the angle. So the bevel protractors are the angle measuring devices. So in this, the vernier bevel protractor is the simplest one for measuring the angle of the given component. And the sign bar is used for measuring the angles. So this works based on the sine principle. So as you know, this is the theta and this is the hypotenuse of the triangle. This is the opposite side. So let us, this is the height is a h, and the hypotenuse is represented by the length L. So then we use the sine principle as sine theta equal to h by L. So this sign bar works on this principle, and its upper surface forms the hypotenuse of the triangle. So this length is formed by the steel bar terminating in a cylinder near the each end. So that represents the distance between the center distance between the two rollers, and this opposite side represents the vertical distance between the two rollers, and also we have seen the sign centers. So sign centers can be used. So when the conical workpieces cannot be held on the sign bar conveniently, so we use the sign centers. So the sign centers can be used to measure the angle up to 60 degree. So whereas the sign bars can be used to measure the angle up to 45 degree only. So beyond 45 degree we cannot use. And then we have seen the sign table. So this table is a most rugged device, so which may be swung to any angle from 0 to 90 degree by pivoting about the hinged end. So these sign tables may be a simple sign table. That means it can tilt only from about one plane. So there may be a compound sign table that can tilt from the two reference planes. That is called compound sine table. So up to this we have discussed in the lecture 4, and this is the today's lecture. So why the sine bars not preferred for measuring the angles larger than 45 degree when high accuracy is demanded? So the accuracy of the angle set by the sine bar depends upon the errors in its important dimensions. So one important dimension is error in the distance between the roller centers. So if there is any error between the rollers centers, that causes the error. Error in combination of the slip gauges used for setting. If there is any error in setting up of the slip gauges, that also causes the error. Error in the parallelism between the gauging surface, this is the gauging surface, and plane of roller axis. So the axis of the two rollers and the gauging surface or the surface of the surface plate must be parallel to each other. So there should not be any deviation. If there is any deviation, that causes the error. And based on the sine principle, the slip gauge combination H required to set the angle theta, this theta is given by the relation H is equal to L into sine theta. So you know what is sine theta. Sine theta is equal to this H by L. H by L. So therefore H is equal to L into sine theta. And the effect of the error in spacing of the roller centers, that is DL, distance between the error between the distance of the two rollers is let us DL error. And the error between the error in combination of slip gauges, let us in this the error is DH. An angular setting accuracy can be obtained by differentiating this expression with respect to theta. So as you know, H is equal to L into sine theta. H is equal to L into sine theta. So if we differentiate this with respect to theta, so you will get dH by d theta is equal to, so you do the partial differentiation. So if you keep L is constant and you differentiate sine theta with respect to theta, you will get cos theta plus, and sine theta you keep constant, and what is the differentiation of L with respect to theta? dL by d theta. So from this relation, what is dH? dH is equal to L into cos theta into d theta plus sin theta into, so dL by d theta into d theta. So this d theta cancels. So you will get dH is equal to L cos theta d theta plus sin theta into dL. So from this you can write dH minus sin theta into dL is equal to L into cos theta into d theta. So from this, what is d theta? You will get d theta is equal to dH by this L cos theta minus sin theta divided by this cos theta into dL by L. So this relation we can obtain. So we can once again, if we simplify this, d theta you will get the sin theta by cos theta, you will get tan theta. And if you take common tan theta, what you will get? So here dh divided by L. So here there is no tan theta to take out. So you write cos theta into tan theta minus tan theta if it comes out, and you will get only dl by L. So finally we can write this as d theta is equal to tan theta, and here tan theta you can write sin theta by cos theta. Cos theta gets cancelled. You will get L sin theta. That L sin theta is nothing but the h. You will get dh by h minus dl by L. So this is the relation we can obtain in terms of the error in the angle d theta. So from this above equation, we can see that the effect of error in the roller spacing or slip gauge combination is a function of theta. So as the theta increases, the error d theta in the angular measurement increases, and above 45-degree value it is more significant, because above 45-degree the tan theta value is greater than unity and increases progressively in the spacing of rollers. Nominally 250 mm sine bar on the angular setting is used. It is seen that below 45-degree tan theta, the error is tan theta value is less than 1, and the effect is also small. However, after 45-degree, the effect is progressively more significant. So as you see from the figure, so up to 45-degree, the error is like this. Up to 45-degree, so it is 1. So beyond 45-degree, it is more than 1 and increases progressively and increases exponentially. When theta is equal to 90, it becomes infinite. So that is why the sine bar is not preferred for measuring the angles larger than 45-degree if high accuracy is demanded. So from the graph for d theta, this is d theta versus theta. Okay. The curve is exponential curve which steeps at angle about 45-degree. So hence it gives the larger error in measuring the angle of the given component for more than 45-degree. Next, another one is called angle gauges. So as we know, the linear slip gauges are used for measuring the linear dimensions. Similarly, the angle gauges are used for measuring the angular dimensions. So these angle gauges were developed by Dr. Tomlinson in 1941. So this can be enables any angle to be set to the nearest 3 seconds. So the angle gauges like linear slip gauges are the blocks of the 75 of having the 75 mm length. The length of the slip gauge is 75 mm. Sorry, angle gauge, and the width is around 16 mm. So angle gauges are like slip gauge linear gauge blocks. These are the blocks of the dimensions 75 mm length and 16 mm width. So these angle gauges are differ from the linear slip gauges or linear gauge blocks in the sense that the ringing surfaces are not parallel to each other and they are having certain angle, and this angle is engraved on the sides of the angle gauge. So this angle gauges can be used for adding the angles, or you can use for subtracting of the angles also. We have the both positive and negative sides, negative angles. The positive angles can be used for measuring the adding the angles, and a negative angle used for subtracting the angle by keeping this in the opposite side, opposite direction. So the angle gauges are more accurate ones compared to the sine bars for measuring the angles. So these angle gauges can be used for measuring the angles from 0 to 360-degree angle with the accuracy of 0.25 seconds. So these angle gauges are also hardened and they are also lapped to get the high degree of accuracy and precision. So both the surfaces are, both the top and bottom surfaces are highly finished using the lapping operation to get the high degree of accuracy and precision. So the angle gauges can also be used for angle gauges can also be rung together to make the to get the required angle. As in the case of slip gauge also, we do the same ringing process for making the required height. So similarly, in the angle gauge also, we rung the two slip gauges to obtain the desired angle. So this already we explained. So the linear linear gauge blocks, angle gauge blocks can also be rung together to build up the desired angle. So these angle gauges are available in two sets. So the first set consists of 16 angle gauges and the second set consists of 13 angle gauges. So in the first set we have the 1 degree angle gauge, 3 degree angle gauge, 5 degree angle gauge, 15 degree angle gauge, 30 degree angle gauge, 45 degree angle gauge. Similarly, we have the minute gauges also. So 1 minute, 3 minute, 5 minute, 15 minutes, 30 minutes also available. And the seconds gauges are also available. 1 second, 3 seconds, 5 seconds, 15 seconds, 30 seconds. So in total, we have 16 angle gauges in the first set. Similarly, we have the another set of 13 gauges. So in this, we have the 1 degree, 3 degree, 9 degree, 27 degree, 41 degree slip gauges, angle gauges. And similarly, in minutes also 1 minute, 3 minute, 9 minute, 27 minute gauges also there. And the second gauges also there, 3 seconds, 6 seconds, 18 seconds, and 30 seconds. So by using this angle gauges, we can obtain the, or we can set the desired angle. So the angle gauges are so designed that they may be combined in plus or minus positions, as already explained. The narrow ends. So if the slip gauges are used in this shape position, the narrow ends together provide the addition of the individual angles. So this shape provides the addition of the two individual angles. So this slip gauge is having the theta angle. So let us 5 degree. And this slip gauge is also having the angle, let us 9 degree. So by adding 9 plus 5, total you will get 14 degree. Suppose if you use this slip gauge, this angle is let us 41 degree. And this slip gauge is having right this symbol. So it is let us 9 degree. So in total I will get only 32 degree. 32 degree because it reduces the angle, subtracts the angle from the angle theta. So the plus and minus ends of each block are marked on the angle gauge so that you can identify. So this figures shows the process of preparation of the desired angles. Suppose I want to set the angle 50 degree using the angle gauges. So I have 41 degree angle gauge and I have 9 degree angle gauge. So I can add these two right angle gauges to get the 50 degree angle. So I want to get a 32 degree angle. So I have 41 degree slip gauge angle gauge is there, and there is a 9 degree angle gauge. So this 9 degree I have to subtract from the 41 degree to get 32 degree. So I have to keep the or ring the second angle gauge 9 degree angle gauge in the opposite direction, so that I can get the angle will be subtracted from 41. I will get 32 degree. This angle gauges can also be used for setting the angle. Let us I want to set the angle 38 degree 28 minutes 8 seconds. So here there is no 38 degree angle gauge. So we have 41 degree angle gauge and we have 27 degree angle gauge. So in order to get a 38, so I can use the different angle gauges. One is 27 degree, another one is 9 degree. I will get total 36. But I require 38 degree. But there is no 2 degree slip gauge. So I have to use 3 degree slip gauge. So I will get total 39 degrees. But I require only 38 degree. I have to subtract 1 degree. So we have 1 degree slip gauge. I have to subtract this in order to get 1 degree slip gauge. So that's why this will be set in the opposite direction. And there is a 28 minutes slip gauge is available and 8 seconds slip gauge is also available. So that if I pile up all these slip gauges, angle gauges, I will get the angle 38 degree, 28 minutes and 8 seconds. Similarly, for the measurement of large angles, so the maximum size of the angle gauge available is in the angle gauge set is 41 degree. But we want to measure the angle more than 90 degree, larger angles than 41. So in that cases, we use the precision square. So precision square makes the angle 90 degree. So beyond 90 degree, if you want to measure, you can pile up the angle gauge over the precision square. So this is 90 degree. So this angle becomes 90 plus 9. 90 plus 9. Total 99 you will get. This can be done with the help of slip gauges as well as angle gauges and precision square. Similarly, I want to set an angle 14 degree 24 minutes and 9 seconds. So there is no 14 degree slip gauge. So we have the 9 degree slip gauge and we have the 3 degree slip gauge. And there is no 2 degree slip gauge to add 14. So for that, what I have to do is I have to use minimum number of angle gauges. And for that, I have to select one 41 degree angle gauge and then one 27 degree angle gauge, and then I will subtract. I will get 14 degree. So I have to select the minimum number of angle gauges to avoid the error in the measuring the dimension of the angle. Now I got 14 degree. Then there is no 24 degree 24 minutes slip gauge. So for that I can use 27 minutes slip gauge, and then I have to subtract 3 minutes to get 24 minutes. So this slip gauge you have to keep in the opposite direction. And then there is a 9 minutes slip gauge is available, that you can use directly to obtain the angle 14 degree 24 minutes and 9 seconds. So these are the various uses of the angle gauges. So this can be used for measurement of the angles between the two surfaces in engineering industries. And we can frequently use these angle gauges to check the off angle tolerance of the components. And for measuring the angles more than 90 degree, we can use the precision square along with angle gauges. So these angle gauges are more accurate than the sine bar because the sine bar is involved in trigonometric relations. And also the procedure for setting the angle with angle gauges is less complex when compared to the sine bar setting the angle with the sine bar. So this is the figure shows the inspection of the compound angle. This component makes the angles with both the planes. In two planes, this component is making the angle. So we need to check the angle using the angle gauges. So we place the workpiece on the surface plate, and then we will use the angle gauges for setting. And finally, we will use the different sizes of the angle gauges, and we keep the angle gauges such that and also with the help of dial indicator shows the zero reading when it is parallel. So we are making the surface of the compound angle into a horizontal surface, and then we can pile up all the angle gauges and then we can see what is the total angle in both the planes. So this is the numerical problem we are considering for the understanding of the how the angle gauges can be used for measurement. So we want to make up the angle 33 degrees 9 minutes and 15 seconds with the help of the standard gauges. These are the gauges available and we need to measure. It is only 33 degree, so we can use. So we can use, there is a 33 degree, there is no slip gauge available with the 33 degree. So what we have to do, we have to use 27 degree, and there is a 9 degree slip gauge. So total we will get 36 degree. but we require only 33 degree. So you have to take the another slip angle gauge and subtract. So what you will get? 33 degree. So in that way you can obtain. So 27 degree angle gauge and 9 degree angle gauge are set in the same direction, and 3 degree angle gauge you set in the opposite direction to subtract the angle 3 degree. And then there is a 9 minutes slip gauge is directly available. You can use it directly. And we need 15 seconds slip gauge, but here there is no 15 seconds slip gauge. We can use 18 slip gauge, and we have to subtract the 3 seconds angle gauge. So 18 seconds minus 3 seconds, you will get the 15 seconds. So these two angle gauges represents 15 seconds, and this is only slip gauge represents the 9 minutes, and these three angle gauges represents the 33 degree. So in total we used 3 plus 1 plus 2, so total 6 angle gauges we used to represent the angle 33 degree, 9 minutes, 15 seconds. There is another problem. Here we want to set the angle 102 degree, 8 minutes, 42 seconds. So there is no angle gauge which is available for representing the 102 degree. So I have to use the precision square. I have to use the precision square. So this represents the 90 degree angle. 90 degree angle. So if you subtract 90 degree from the 102 degree, so you will get 12 degree. So this 12 you can make up using the 9 degree angle gauge and the 3 degree angle gauge. So you will get 12 degree. So this is 90 degree plus 12 degree, you will get 102 degree. And there is a 8 minute slip gauge, angle gauge is required. There is no 8 minute angle gauge. So for that we have to use 9 minute angle gauge and 1 minute angle gauge. So you have to subtract the 1 minute angle gauge from the 9 minute. Okay. This here you will get 8 minutes. You will get. And there is a 42 seconds are required. There is no 42 second slip gauge. So for that what we have to do? We have to use 30, and then you have to, even if you use these two angle gauges, we can't get 42. So 30 plus 18, 48 seconds you will get. We need only 42. So you have to subtract this 6 seconds angle gauge to get 42 seconds. This is 42 seconds. So you will get 90 plus 12, 102 degree, 8 minutes, 42 seconds. So this is the another problem. So the angle of a wedge shaped block is being checked using a 100 mm sine bar with the gauge blocks of 25.87 mm height. Under one end of the sine bar, the dial gauge readings at each end of the workpiece vary by 0.006 mm. So here there is a sine bar. Let us this is the sine bar. This is the angle to be measured. This height is 25.857. And if we move the dial gauge over this, right, the error we observed is 0.006. Error is 0.06 mm. 0.06 mm on the workpiece length 30 mm. So this is the error on 30 mm length. On 30 mm length, you have 0.06 mm. If you use 100 mm sign bar, what is the error? So 0.06 mm by 30 into 100 by 30 into 100. You will get 0.2 mm is needed to show the dial gauge 0. That means 25.857 you have to raise to 25. If you add 0.2, you will get rise to 26.057. 26.057. And also calculate the angle of the workpiece with the above information obtained. Angle, how do you calculate the angle? Using the sine principle. Sine theta is equal to h by l. H value, you know, 26.057, it is already calculated. And the length of the sine bar is 100. You can calculate what is the angle is 15 degree, 15.10 degree. So this is the spirit level. Another angle measuring device is the spirit level. So it is a bubble. It is also called as a bubble instrument. So why it is called a spirit level means, so in the western cold countries, to combat freezing of the tubes, that is tubes are filled with the spirit of wine. So that's why they are generally named as spirit level. So in this also we use the spirit. So that's why it is called the spirit level. So this spirit level is used for measuring the small angle or inclinations. One use. The another use is you can determine the position of the surface with respect to the horizontal position, and you can also establish the horizontal data. So these three things can be done using the spirit level. So this spirit level consists of the glass tube. The bore of the glass tube is ground to a convex shape with a large radius, and then on the top of the glass tube, the scale graduations are engraved to represent the divisions in linear scale, that is in mm. And this glass tube is filled with the ether or alcohol by leaving a small completely in the glass tube. This vapors causes the this is called bubble. The bubble is formed by this ether vapors. So this bubble will use it to measure the angle of the inclinations of the components. So we use the low viscosity fluids, and the vial is graduated. This is glass tube is called the vial, graduated in linear units. So in this we have the two types of spirit levels. These spirit levels may be used by the masonries, that is called the masonry spirit level, and this is called the engineer's spirit level. So this spirit level is an angle measuring device in which the bubble always moves to the highest point of a glass vial. So for measuring the even in angular in measuring the angle of the component, or in setting up of the angle, or at the measuring the straightness or flatness of the machine parts, the bubble always occupies the highest point on a glass vial. So when the base is horizontal, the bubble rests at the center of the graduated scale, which is engraved on the glass. So when the base of the spirit level moves out of the horizontal, the bubble shifts to the highest point on the of the tube. And the position of the bubble with reference to the scale gives the measure of the angularity of the machine part. So here the scale is calibrated to directly provide the reading in minutes and seconds. The performance of the spirit level is governed by the geometrical relationship between the bubble and the two references. So here the two references in that first one is effect of gravity that is acting at the center of the bubble, and the second one is the scale against which the bubble position is read. And then we can define the sensitivity of the spirit level is the angle of tilt in seconds. So this is the spirit level, base of the spirit level. The angle of tilt in seconds of the base that causes the bubble to move through one division. That is called the sensitivity of the spirit level. So let us, this is the H, this is the length of the base, this is the angle tilted to the from the base to change the that causes the bubble to move the one to move from one position to the another position. So this is small l and this is capital R. This is also angle theta. Therefore, so this small l is equal to R into theta. So here theta is equal to H by L. So from these two relations, we can write theta is equal to H by L, and here theta is equal to L by R. Right? This L may be 1 mm distance or 2 mm distance. So here theta is in radians. So the sensitivity of the spirit level depends on the radius of curvature of the bubble, which formed against the inside surface of the glass vial, and the base length of the mount. So let us assume that the level has graduations on the vial with a least count of 1 mm and radius of curvature R as shown in the figure. So the angle theta we can calculate as 1 by R. Let us, this is 1 mm distance is moved by the bubble. So therefore theta is equal to sector length L is equal to R into theta. Here 1 is equal to R into theta. You will get theta is equal to 1 by R. If the graduations are at a 2 mm interval and represents a tilt of 10 seconds, then the following calculations can be done. So for theta is equal to 10 seconds. If you convert this into minutes, you have to divide by 60. If you have to convert into degrees, again you have to divide this by 60. And if you multiply this by pi by 180, you can get the angle in radians. So that is the theta. So by using this, if you substitute this, you can get what is the R value. R is equal to 1 by theta. So you will get 41.274 approximately. Suppose if the base length is 250 mm and the height h to which one end must be raised for a 2 mm bubble movement. So in order to move the bubble through 2 mm distance, so what is the height or angle to be tilted? That is h by L. H by L. Here L is the 250 and h you want to measure. Okay, here you know the this theta, and you can substitute here and you will get H value as 0.012 mm. So it is obvious from these computations that the sensitivity of the instruments depend upon the radius of curvature of the bubble tube and the base length of the base length of the spirit level. So sensitivity can be increased by either increasing the radius of curvature or decreasing the base length. But the most useful sensitivity for a precision measurement is 10 seconds per division. So the main use of the spirit level is not only for measuring the angles, but for measuring the alignment of machine parts, and also you can determine the flatness and straightness of the machine components. Another one is called the clinometer. A clinometer is a special case of the spirit level. So while the spirit level is restricted to use relatively for measuring the small angles, whereas clinometers can be used for measuring the larger angles. So the clinometers can be used for determining the straightness and flatness of the surfaces, and also you can use the clinometers for setting the tables to certain inclination on jig boring machines, and also the angular workpieces also set on the surface grinding machines. So you can also find the included angle of the two adjacent faces of the workpiece. You can also check the angular faces and relief angles on large cutting tools and milling cutter insets. So this clinometer comprises a spirit level which is mounted on the dial, which is mounted on a circular dial or circular frame, so on which the degree angle scale is graduated. So this circular dial can be rotated to any desired angle with respect to the horizontal reference. So this measuring instrument can provide superior accuracy compared to ordinary spirit levels. How this works? So to measure with the clinometers, the base is kept on the surface of the workpiece. So this is the, we want to measure the angle of this component. So the base we kept here on the inclined surface of the workpiece, and then the lock nut, there is a lock nut, so which can locks the rotation of the circular dial and the circular dial and the spirit level. And also we have the fine adjustment screw or nut for fine adjustment of this circular dial. So the lock nut is loosened and the dial comprising the circular scale is gently rotated until the bubble in the spirit level is approximately at the center. Not exactly at the center, it is approximately at the center. After that we use the fine adjustment nut for getting the fine adjustment nut is operated until the bubble is exactly at the center of the vial scale. Then the reading is viewed through the eyepiece. There is a eyepiece through which we can view the divisions on the circular dial and on the vial. So the most clinometers in metrology laboratory provide readings up to an accuracy 1 minute, and our precision clinometers can be used if the accuracy requirement is up to 1 second. So this is the procedure of angle measurement. So for measuring the angle using the clinometer, so we place the clinometer on the surface plate This is the surface plate, and we can locate it against the side of the engineer's parallel. Adjust the clinometer until the spirit level reads 0 and record the angular setting obtained. So this is nothing but the initial reading. Initial reading of the clinometer. Now you remove the clinometer and place the workpiece on the surface plate against the sides of the parallel. Then we place the clinometer on the inclined surface of the component and align it parallel with the edge of the component. Parallel to the edge of the component. Then adjust the clinometer until the spirit level reads 0 and again record the angular reading. So this is here you can get the final reading. Final reading. The true angle of the component can be obtained by subtracting the final reading and the initial reading. So you have to subtract the initial reading from the final reading. So you will get the true angle of the given component. So this is the procedure to be adopted for measuring the angle accurately using the clinometers. So this is the today's lecture, and the summary is, for measuring the angles, the angle gauges are more accurate than the sine bar, and they are enabled to measure any angle between 0 to 360 degrees with an accuracy of 0.5 to 0.25 second. And angle gauges are used for quick measurement of the angles between two surfaces in engineering industries. And the spirit levels are used for measuring the small angle or inclinations to determine the position of the surface with respect to the horizontal position. And also spirit levels can be used to establish a horizontal data. And the clinometer is a special case of the spirit level where we want to measure the larger angles compared to the angles measured by the spirit level. And the clinometers are used to determine the straightness and the flatness of the surfaces. Not only for the straightness and flatness, these clinometers can also be used to set the tables to certain inclination on the jig boring machines, and angular jobs on surface grinding machines. We can also mount certain inclination, and also we can determine the include angle of the two adjacent faces of the workpiece, and we can check angular faces and relief angles on large cutting tools and milling cutters. So this is the today's class. These are the references we have considered for preparing this PowerPoint, this lecture. Thank you.